Insulin is an essential hormone made by beta cells in the pancreas. A small amount of insulin is continuously released from the pancreas throughout the day. When we eat, more insulin is released into the bloodstream, where it helps glucose from the food to enter into cells to be used as energy. Insulin was discovered in 1921 by a team of researchers from the University of Toronto in Canada. In 1923, Sir Frederick Banting and his team received the Nobel Prize in Medicine for this milestone discovery, which has revolutionized both the therapy and the prognosis of the diabetes. After 100 years of use, insulin is now very well known. People with type 1 diabetes don't make any insulin. If we have type 2 diabetes, the insulin we make cannot work effectively, and/or not enough is produced. Over time, our pancreas often gets tired and produces less and less insulin. Because the glucose cannot get into cells properly, it begins to build up in the blood and leads to hyperglycemia. Over a long period of time, high glucose levels in our blood can seriously damage our heart and cardiovascular system, our eyes, our kidneys, and our nerves, especially in the feet. Whatever the type of diabetes, the goal is to normalize blood sugar levels close to 100 milligrams per deciliter before meals. For people with type 1 diabetes, it is necessary to take insulin. For type 2 diabetes, lifestyle changes such as healthy diet, exercise and weight loss can be enough to keep diabetes and blood sugar under control. If not, there are many treatments that may help. During the last 100 years, great strides have been made. Help millions of people with diabetes taking insulin to live life to the full, and to help avoid or minimize the complications of diabetes. Animal insulin from cows was the first type of insulin to be given to humans by injection to help control diabetes, as it's nearly identical to human insulin. Then human insulin, which was better tolerated, was produced by recombinant DNA technology. The gene for human insulin is inserted into a bacteria or yeast, which can make this insulin. Thanks to the multiplication of this bacteria or yeast, enough human insulin is produced and can be used after purification. The structure of insulin, or how it's formulated, has been modified to more closely mimic the body's own normal insulin response and action profile. There are different types of insulin to cover the body's insulin needs that differ in terms of time of onset and duration of action. 3 main types exist. A rapid or short-acting insulin will cover the body's insulin needs at mealtime. Taken before or during mealtimes, they help to use the carbohydrates in the food. Rapid-acting insulins have an onset of action of between 10 and 20 minutes after injection, a peak action of 1 to 2 hours, and a duration of action of 4 to 6 hours. Short-acting insulins have an onset of action of about 30 minutes after injection, a peak action of 2 to 4 hours, and duration of action of 6 to 8 hours. You also have intermediate-acting insulins that reach the bloodstream 2 to 4 hours after injection, have a peak action of around 4 to 10 hours, and a duration of action of around 12 to 18 hours. The first generation of long-acting insulins, modified from human insulin, have no pronounced peak, and their goal is to cover basal insulin need over a 24-hour period. Second-generation basal insulin analogues are also available and have a longer duration of action that goes beyond 24 hours. They are given once a day. Based on the patient's needs, long-acting, intermediate, rapid or short-acting insulin can be administered using disposable or reusable pens or syringes. Short and rapid-acting insulins are the only insulins that can be used in a pump. For people with diabetes who require insulin, it helps them keep their blood sugar and diabetes under control, so they can live their lives to the fullest.